Hey guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. How you doing? So it's 12:11 Monday morning, just Monday morning, and I'm celebrating by making myself a loaded hash brown. I told you Aldi makes them. Well, they don't make them; they sell them, and I make them. Just heat them up. Somebody one day accused me, "You're not cooking; you're just putting shit together." I did that with love, and I never did it again after that. Guys, Becca Scoops, she came out with another one, and you know she's always on point, and her partner too, who I don't know any of these people, but they seem to, they have a theory. And look, guys, I've been wrong with content creators before, especially ones that do not show their faces, but I do think that there's a lot of credence in what Becca Scoops is scooping about. So I want to watch the video with you. There are parts of the video that I'm not going to even record because you guys should check it out. You guys really should, if you have an interest in honestly knowing without any emotion, and I don't mean, monotone boredom like that. I just facts, just facts. And, smart theories. I don't agree with everything that Becca Scoops says, but her theories aren't stupid. And there's a lot that I do agree with, and there's a lot that I've learned from her. And I recommend these, you guys know Becca Scoops. You guys know. So, and this is just another one. This is, I think, the 5th or the 6th one. And this is Becoming Gypsy Rose. So it gets into shit about her mom. And, I think a lot of us have said before, like Gypsy's mom, she was spoiling Gypsy. There was abuse, okay? But there wasn't physical. I don't believe there was physical abuse. There was abuse in the fact that maybe DeeDee couldn't make it financially, so she taught her daughter how to scam, and maybe they lived frightened like that. Because imagine that. Because for real, all jokes aside, if you feel like you're always going to get caught doing something, I mean, that's part of the reason why half the time nobody does things, because they don't want to get caught like doing something, right? So let's say that's the case, and you live like that each day. Is today the day I'm going to get caught doing something? Is today the day I'm going to go to jail? Is today the day all of this ends? So that's scary. To not have any kind of security and stability, that's scary. And to not, I guess, I don't know how Gypsy's mind works.
Thank God.
But my mind would work as, well, I don't have any qualifications in anything else but scamming. But I wouldn't let myself get there, you know what I'm saying? So, guys, I think that, listen, there is no excuse. No excuse for what Gypsy did. No excuse. She did it because she wanted to do it. End of story. We all come from some sort of shit. There is, even when she, this starts off with a conversation that she's having with Rod, and she's manipulating him from the get-go. This guy feels so guilty, he needs to step aside and realize what a fucking con his kid is. Wake up, Rod. Don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. This is your kid. It's all on her now. She's an adult. She's the wonkadoodle. You've given her advice. She hasn't taken it. It's okay if you... See you later, alligator. And this also talks about how Christy was only available and interested and had this love for her stepdaughter only when it's believed that maybe there was some money involved. That's no surprise. We've thought about this before. But I really love the presentation of this, and I think we should watch it, and I'll comment on some stuff, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Get your food. Get your food. And I'm drinking my San Pellegrino pomegranate and orange, what is it, seltzer water? Anyway, guys, Let's watch.
You know that I love my mama, and you know that I would never hurt her. Just know, Daddy, I understand that we haven't had a chance to get close in a long time, having my whole life.
I have a lot of questions, obviously. I'm confused.
The stuff that you see in the news is horrible and not true. You know that I love my mama, and you know that I would never hurt her. Just know that I'm innocent and know that I'm still your little girl.
Guys, we're going to stop right there. It just begun. And right away, there's lies. What she's done to Rod, right there, what she did to Rod on the phone after she gets arrested and now needs her dad, he's still paying for that. He's still trying to do right by that. That's his guilt. That's his Achilles heel right there. And I think that Christy jumped on board with this because, listen, as a woman, as we get older, we don't age like men. Men, they age, they become more distinguished. We just get old. Pardon me. You know, maybe I'm speaking for myself. I think that we really have to feel so good about ourselves to believe that we're just as attractive as we were when we were younger. Very few women, in my opinion, grow more beautiful over the course of time to look at, per se. Okay, and maybe that's a horrible thing to say, but I include myself in that, and I mean it. I mean, we work our whole lives to stay fit, and then our bodies deceive us. That's the way that I feel. Listen, I think that I'm a beautiful woman. I think it took me a while to get there. I think that there are beautiful women out there. I think that I see life differently. But I also am not ignorant to the fact that men can actually get better looking with age. You know, their gray becomes distinguished. Anyway, guys, I believe that Christy has hit like a middle-age crisis in her life, and that her having Gypsy around is beneficial to her marriage with Rod, because I think that keeps Rod around. And I think if she's had any doubt or any insecurities about herself because she's gone through menopause or she's going through menopause or whatever, anything that fucks with the woman's head and makes them feel less beautiful and less secure and less confident, I think that having Gypsy there and having Rod dependent on Christy to have that relationship with Gypsy is something very beneficial to Christy. So not only do I think that there's money involved in the situation that's beneficial for Christy, but I also think that the benefit is also the fact that Rod doesn't know how to parent Gypsy, and he uses Christy for help with that. And he's still paying for that guilt in that first thing that she just said. Oh, Daddy, you know, I'm still your little girl. But he wasn't around. And she plays on that. And Christy knows that he feels guilty about that. So that's what I think. That's my theory on that one.
Are some people born evil, or do they become amoral over time? Or were there circumstances that justified doing a heinous crime? It's the old nature versus nurture question. This investigation will answer that question when it comes to the case of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. We were shocked to learn DeeDee was fondly remembered by many of her high school friends who claim she wasn't always this con artist, and that something happened to DeeDee that caused her to snap. In fact, we were blown away to learn that 2 incidents triggered DeeDee to spiral out of control, and that led to years of suffering from alleged mental illness. Michelle Bill Kahanen and Valerie Sapovito, 2 of DeeDee's close friends in high school, revealed personal details that shed light on why DeeDee turned into a con woman. Quote, "She was a beautiful, sweet person back then. It just tears my heart out to learn what became of her and how it caused her demise," Michelle wrote in a social media post right after DeeDee's death. However, there were also warning signs of issues that DeeDee would allegedly pass down to her own daughter. Edwin Calais, who went to high school with DeeDee, reminisced that she had a big crush on him. To get his attention, DeeDee would make up wild claims. DeeDee used to be obsessed with the band. I believe it might have been Def Leppard, Edwin shared. She said she knew them and hung out with them. I do remember. She was a pathological liar. But she was also one of the most generous girls at school. I remember her mom always spoiling DeeDee, gave her everything she wanted. Valerie also shared a pic of DeeDee in a white gown with a blue sash and a crown on her head. As part of the JROTC, the girls revealed they traveled to competitions across the country. Michelle said, "Remember DeeDee's mom came to every competition with us, traveled by her side?" Michelle then added, "Remember Florida for the Nationals? If it wouldn't have been for her mom, we would have been miserable." The high school friends claimed DeeDee and her mom were inseparable, and Mrs. Petrie was like their team mom, always making sure the girls had everything they needed when they traveled abroad. They also revealed what happened when Mrs. Petrie died. DeeDee experienced depression and erratic behavior after the death of her mother, whom she was close to. Michelle wrote, "I knew them both, and Dee would never take advantage of anyone prior to her loss, all of which occurred before the scamming started. There is something wrong when a person's whole character changes after a trauma, and it's not because of evil. Evil you were born with."
So guys, what's up with that? They're saying that DeeDee came from a pretty good home and she was loved, and even her sisters and everybody in DeeDee's family. I'm sorry, I did something with Danny and there's like dog hair everywhere. They're starting with DeeDee and they're saying, whoa, you know, DeeDee's got her own stuff, but DeeDee seemed to be fine until DeeDee's mom passed away. So DeeDee supposedly was very spoiled by her mom, and the other siblings said the same thing, right? But then there was also some sort of accusation of unaliving. Do you see just in that statement too, in that statement as well, that the whole story of DeeDee Blanchard or DeeDee Petrie or Petrie or whatever the name, I'm pretty sure it was Petrie, that her whole history has been rewritten because there's accusations that DeeDee helped end her mom's life. And we see that there are things here simply, she adored her mom and her mom adored her. So you see how convoluted and how messed up this whole thing is because of what Gypsy did. Now, if Gypsy wouldn't have unalived her mom, all of this shit wouldn't have been made up. The Munchausen by proxy, which is bullshit, we think. And even the horrible shit that supposedly was said about her mom and her dad, Gypsy's grandparents, DeeDee's parents. And in the meantime, these friends are saying she had a mental breakdown after her mom died. And nobody really paid attention to that because it's like a switch went off in her head. And nobody ever looked at it from that point of view, right? Because DeeDee's always been known as EVIL, according to Gypsy, and according to Christy, and according to Rod. Rod jumped on board with that. Shame on you, Rod, because she raised your kid. You weren't there, and you didn't pay. And listen, I'm not saying she did it right, but she didn't do it near as wrong as Gypsy makes it seem. Not near as wrong. And guys, this is already, a 15-minute video, and we've gotten this far. So I'm going to continue on. We're going to finish this up tomorrow. We'll go through it. If not, we'll do 2, 3, 4 excerpts of it, guys, because I think that there are some very valid points that the way Becca Scoops presents us to it might not, she makes me think of other things. So good for her. Guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Scoop. I don't know what you're eating, but that hash brown that I had, that loaded hash brown, that was really good. Guys, please like, subscribe, and share. I really appreciate it. I so appreciate it. There's over 12,000. And in November, there was 22, and then one day 44, and then I am so grateful, guys. Guys, I got a few special thanks or super thanks and stuff like that, and PayPal stuff. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, and Cash App. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. The members, thank you so much. I so appreciate it. You guys are changing my life, and I hope that I'm doing something positive with yours. I hope I'm adding something good for you guys. Guys, take care of yourselves. Be better today than you were yesterday. Not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. Always be kind. And we'll get back to the Becca Scoops. All right, guys. Have a good one.